Thanksgiving is under attack on American college campuses across the country, and this year we're breaking down some of the craziest attempts to cancel the holiday. I'm Ophelie Jacobson, and this is the Thanksgiving special edition of the Campus Countdown. We're starting off this special episode with a throwback to 2018 when a library at a Massachusetts college referred to Thanksgiving as a national day of mourning. The McQuade Library at Merrimack College in North Andover, Massachusetts, took to Facebook to promote an article entitled Decolonizing Thanksgiving, a toolkit for combating racism in schools. The toolkit, created by St. Mary's University professor Lindsay Passenger Week, urges an approach that, quote, decolonizes and de-romanticizes Thanksgiving. Quote, stereotypical and racist portrayals of Native peoples fill U.S. elementary schools each November as students encounter historically inaccurate portrayals of Native peoples in arts and crafts, books, and lessons about a shared Thanksgiving meal, and songs and plays with handcrafted headdresses and vests, Week argues in the article linked by the Facebook post. This is just the latest attempt to rewrite history and destroy American tradition and culture. For years, Americans have watched as statues have been torn down, buildings have been renamed, the 1619 Project has been pushed in public education, and the American flag has been portrayed as a symbol of hate and racism. So it's no surprise that Thanksgiving is the left's latest victim. People often say don't talk about religion or politics at the dinner table, but one student at the University of Virginia encouraged her readers back in 2020 to stand up to racist family members at Thanksgiving dinner. So much for not being controversial at the dinner table. Emma Camp, an opinion columnist at the University of Virginia student newspaper who writes a regular opinion column for the Cavalier Daily, asserted that, quote, white progressives must privilege their principles over personal comfort in conversations with family during the holiday season. In order to fulfill this mandate, they, quote, need to stand up to their racist loved ones. Quote, when we sit silent over our uncle's QAnon rants or our high school friends' xenophobic comments, she continues, it shows that we value our own comfort over what we know to be our ethical duty. She again admonishes readers to prove that their moral principles are more important than their relationship with racists. Quote, no matter the outcome, standing up for your principles disrupts the presumption of agreement so often assumed by bigots, concludes Camp. Hateful beliefs may continue, but at the very least, you can make it clear that they are not welcome to at least one person at the dinner table. I mean, leave it to the left to politicize a quintessential American holiday such as Thanksgiving, which is supposed to be a day where family and friends can come together in gratitude and share in their blessings, but this Virginia student sees it as the perfect opportunity to rat out your racist family members. Also back in 2020, just one more throwback for you, student government leaders at one college in California discussed possible name changes for Thanksgiving, including Thanks-taking and Thanks-killing. At Santa Rosa Junior College in Santa Rosa, California, a recent discussion over the history and offensive name of Thanksgiving moved the student government to consider a name change to the holiday. Student leaders discussed the formation of a committee and legislation to seek a new name, with representatives claiming Thanksgiving is culturally inaccurate. Quote, Thanksgiving is a little dangerous because it's basically an antonym, Joshua Poinsett, a black student union representative, said. If you're going to be brutally honest, you could just say that it's Thanks-killing or Thanks-taking, he said. Other representatives cited Indigenous peoples' concerns. A lot of, especially Indigenous students, who are very scared to come up to even join the clubs here on campus because of discrimination, do find it very offensive to use the word Thanksgiving, said the college student trustee Jocelyn Toscano. So are we just going to forget the entire part of the Thanksgiving story where the Wampanoag Native Americans helped the Plymouth settlers grow food and they also agreed to both protect each other from other tribes? I mean, this is still universally accepted as the historically accurate story of the first Thanksgiving, a moving story of compassion and goodwill, yet these student government leaders seem to think otherwise. And finally, in our most recent example of canceling Thanksgiving, one editorial board this month at a Pennsylvania school is asking students to redefine Thanksgiving. The University of Pittsburgh News editorial board published an article titled, quote, It's okay to not like Thanksgiving, recommending that readers redefine what Thanksgiving means to them. Quote, Thanksgiving is a weird holiday as is, the editorial claims. We are celebrating the genocide of the Wampanoag tribe by eating with our families and saying what we're thankful for. The piece continues by saying, quote, it seems strange to try to force joy onto a holiday that brings such sorrow to many Indigenous Americans. It's okay if this legacy of genocide rubs you the wrong way and the celebration of this holiday feels wrong to you. The editorial board also argued that since not everyone is close to their families, Thanksgiving is not universally relatable. Thanksgiving is also a holiday heavily focused on family, the editorial wrote, but not everyone likes their family, which can make the holiday hard to get through. Whether it's a difference in politics or an abusive environment, sometimes sitting through a long meal with family is not feasible for everyone. Look, Thanksgiving is a holiday that all Americans can celebrate, regardless of religion, sex, or ethnic background. My mom immigrated here when she was just 27 years old, and now she looks forward to celebrating Thanksgiving every single year here in the United States of America. I mean, just look at all of these examples. This is why it's so important that we continue to make sure that for generations to come, Americans are still celebrating Thanksgiving and they know the true history of it. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to the rhetoric surrounding Thanksgiving on our college campuses, because that rhetoric will directly translate into how Americans in the future will view this quintessential American holiday. Those are all the top Thanksgiving stories we have for you this year. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe down below. You can also follow along with all of the college craziness on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Campus Reform. We'll be back next week with a regular edition of the Campus Countdown, but for now, I'm Ophelie Jacobson. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving.